going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and I hope we're all doing really well. Now, I've had the game for a week. I've done a couple of formations, a couple of custom tactics. If you haven't, go back and watch Monday night's video. A lot of people are saying, this is meta, that is meta. In my opinion, I don't think it's possible to know what is meta at this point in time because it is too early. However, I could be wrong, I'm not an expert, but for me, I'm not going to BS people and say it's meta when I don't think it is. So, if you're looking at becoming competitive straight away, i.e. you've got your FIFA points tonight, you've opened up your packs, you've got a squad ready to go, then I do have a decent formation. And what I mean by decent formation is very balanced in defence and in attack. And I do believe most of us, well, nearly all of us can use this formation without any issues at all. So let's jump straight into what we've got. So if we switch across, I'm not looking at that one yet. So the 4-3-2-1, you can see it on the left hand side of your screen. We're not ready for that one yet. This is what we're going to go for. We're going to go for the 4-4-1-1, and we've got it set up as a counter and balanced. Now let's jump into this a little bit more in depth. So as you can see, it's a custom tactics. I built it myself. I've not used it from, like a manager or anything. So you can kind of see where we're going with this. So we're using it as a counter-attacking formation with a balanced defense approach. Now, if you go 70-71 like last FIFA or last FC24, for example, your back four is so aggressive. It is ridiculous. They have really, really gone and kind of nerfed the line height, if you've got the depth. They've really nerfed it this time around. So your players will literally jump out of position and you will be countered so easily and you'll have no defence. So before we move on to how I've got this set up with the ball and without the ball, that new feature we've got, so you can see how each player is set up. Let's drop in some gameplay. Corner glitches back, front post headers all the way. That it's there again. Ignore what I've named it, 4-1-4-1. Ignore that. I think I'm not 100% sure. There's a code underneath the 4-1-4-1, and I think if you input that code, you can just actually steal my setup. I think I'm not 100% certain. I need to research that a little bit more. But I think with that code, if you put it in to one of your slots, for example, let's back out and I'll have a look and show you what I mean. So design your own, use code there. So if you click import there and then put that code in, I think if it's working correctly, you can steal this without even having to mess around with anything. It just does it automatically for you. I think that's how it works. So let's jump into the gameplay and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to have it all set up. Bottom left hand corner, left on the D-pad, and then left, right, up or down, depending on where you have your slot set. So mine is left. And you can see we've gone straight into that 4-1-4-1 it says, but it's wrong. I named it wrong. Please ignore that. It's a 4-4-1-1. So you can see here we're transitioning. I think the game is still a little bit glitchy because we had some stuff on the screen that lasted a little bit longer than it should. The transition still stays the same, 7 seconds. So here you can see we're now into the game properly. You defend in a 4-4-1-1. Run a counter-attack, hence we don't have that many players forward, but we have enough on the wings to do things like this. And then this is what I was talking about. I don't know if you want to call it a corner glitch or not, but it seems like they can't fix the front post head-in, so their front post going boom. First goal of the game, 1-0 up. That Gabriel card I did mention at the start, he is an absolute beast. Highly recommend him if you're still about 30k. If he's a little bit more, then there is better out there, but for a top team of the week player, he's decent. And what I do like about this 4-4-1-1 is the sheer amount of passing options you have. You can see in space, in the middle of the park, lose the ball, but you can kind of see here how quickly we win the ball back. And if you look at the end of the games you play, it will tell you how many seconds it takes you to win the ball back. I think this formation 4-4-1-1 is approximately 5 seconds to win the ball back from once you lose it, which is pretty decent for a counter-attacking formation. And then again, we're 1-0 up. I'm going to rinse and repeat the corner. Boom, again 2-0. Every single front post corner I seem to be scoring with Gabriel. It's crazy. I always like to show it from a defensive point of view as well, because there's no point in just showing the attacking side of things. So you can see it's a 4-4-1-1 when it defends. I've already said that, it's a given, it doesn't change. Everybody holds their positions. But what is so nice about this formation is the runs. I mean, like I say, Poacher Plus is kind of broken at the minute, and you'll see why in a second. But you can see where my striker is sitting. He's in the box. He's looking for those little movements in between the lines. And not only that, with the way we have this set up, it's kind of like there's a poacher right there. He's sitting on the 6 yard line waiting for that ball because that's where the defenders were sitting. So I do think that's going to be nerfed. But yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying, what I like about this is the playability it has, the passing, the spaces it plays in between the lines. You're not overly committed, and yeah, it's satisfying to score some semi-decent goals without having to do too much in the respect of creating the space or making skill moves or anything. It is just a very very basic and very very simple setup, and that is why I say I think 90% of us can use this type of setup at the beginning, just to get us started in the game, and then obviously, like I said before, we don't know what's meta yet. So yep, after that quitter we move on to another game, and this one you can see we're already 1-0 down, which is a good thing because I get to show you guys that this is also a good formation to come back with, not just a one-hit wonder. And the pressure here is just relentless, and the guy can't get out, and we get a nice goal. And then we get this crazy animation here, the point of view camera. First time I've seen it, don't like it. And then of course that corner kick, like I said, I don't think I've missed yet from that front post corner, so that is one to watch out for. Let's jump straight into the instructions. So without the ball, obviously your defensive side of things, this is how I have it set up. So I have my left back and right back on a full back role, and their focus is defending. Obviously it's defending. Why else would you have it on anything different without the ball? You just want them to defend without the ball. The two centre backs we've got on defender and balanced. You can see that they're defender and balanced. Obviously Gabriel has a trait there which makes him a defender plus, which makes him a slightly better defender than most. Hence why I'm using him. I'm not sure why his team of the week is so cheap at the minute, but if you can grab him for 30k, then I'd suggest you grab him. He's one of the better ones out there. So that is your defence. Your midfield, obviously, your more attacking midfielder, you have them on box to box and balanced. Again, this is without the ball. So without the ball, again, you have one holding player and it focuses on defence. It kind of makes sense. Now, the LM and your RM, ignore where it says player out of position role and focus on simplified. Ignore that. It's because we've changed formation. It doesn't like it. So yeah, the LM and RM are both going to be on wingers and balance, because that's essentially what they are in this formation. A 4-4-1-1. They are wingers. So that's why I have both of them. And then obviously you have your Cam. He's a playmaker. And then your striker. Poacher is broken at the minute. So poacher means that they will kind of push the defence closer to the 18-yard line, closer to the penalty area. I do think that's going to be kind of nerfed at some point. I know the game's only a week old, but I do think that's going to be nerfed because poacher's kind of pushing the defence where you don't want it to be, which is good for those attacking. It's not good for those defending. So anyway, so that's without the ball. With the ball, now you can see here, with the ball, you can see what this is where it gets really interesting. This is what I like this year. So your defence, for example, they'll push in nice and tight. So you can see the four here. They'll push in nice and tight. We don't need to touch these at all. We just leave them as they are. Again, your midfielder and your box to box, we leave them as they are. Now, your wide players, winger and balanced, if you look at the picture here, you will see they are wider than the left back and the right back. So this is quite a wide formation. And that's what makes this formation so interesting. So if you do want to use a winger to defend, for example, you're going to be defending with a 5 or a 6 essentially, which is pretty nice. But going forward, this does play like it says on the, like, as you can see, it looks like a 4-2-3-1. It does play very much like a 4-2-3-1. However, you have the LM, the RM, the cam, the striker, and then your box to box player getting forward. And obviously you can send these on runs if you want to, but yeah, this is what I'm using at the minute. I've gone up 2 divisions using this formation. I've used it maybe 40 plus times now, so I know this is kind of a pretty decent balanced formation. So yeah, that is where we're at this point in time with this formation. So yeah, definitely worth having in your slots. I will obviously show you. If you've watched the gameplay, you would see how the slot system worked this year. So you can fill your slots again like you did last year. It just looks slightly different. Um, but yeah, hope you enjoy that. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely worth subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because I do upload a couple of times a week, sometimes 3 times a week, depending on what kind of footage I've got. If there's anything you want to see, drop it in the comments below. If you want a more detailed explanation, I've got no issue in doing that. I just didn't want to bore everybody. So yeah, hope you all enjoy FC25, and until Monday, everybody take care.